Of course, when you decide to join an armed forces, you know you're going to be in arms, no matter what your job is. At that time, I feel like this risk exists everywhere in the United States. People get shot in their house by a stray bullet. So it wasn't, I didn't think about it. It wasn't a concern at that time.
Now, as a recruit in the U.S. Army, tell us how life is like being a recruit in the Army. You got the bosses there, the captains here, the colonels there, and you're just a rookie.
Yes.
How is it like?
Well, when I first joined the Army, it was very interesting, actually. Very interesting, because this was my first time. Well, actually, I joined the Army 3 years after I went to America. So I was still fresh in the country. I don't know a lot of slangs, a lot of terms, a lot of definitions. So joining the Army at the time, it was just like, you know, I was lost. I was very lost. The cadence they sing while they're marching, I have to mimic them because I didn't know them. You know, it was a journey. It was a journey, actually, but it was a great one.
And how did you learn the marching songs? I know there are a couple of songs that you sing when you march and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Must have been pretty tough for you in a way.
Well, over a period of time and the desire to be a part of something, you have no option, you have no choice but to learn it. And that pushed me to that level. So I adapt pretty quickly.
Now let's look at the training. What kind of training was it? How intensive was it? I mean, he's a rookie. He's got to be made into a soldier. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Strong and that kind of thing.
You know, that was, of course, the first time I ever held a weapon. You know, because in the Gambia before I left, we don't hear about it much more to see it. You know, so joining the Army, it was rigorous training. You know, because we have little sleep. You know, being in the woods, bushes, training, carrying backpacks, marching, and doing all this stuff. That was something I was not exposed to. You know, but I did a lot of walking in the Gambia, so that helped me out there on that end. But that was the first time I held the M16 rifle, and I'll tell you what, it was quite a sight to see.
I know that the phrase ready, proactive, and flexible is a command message. How do you react to these three words? To be ready, to be proactive, and flexible in the Army. What does it mean to you?
You know, those are key words. I mean, those are key words in the life of a soldier. You know, you have to be proactive in the sense that, you know, you can't be told something every time. You know, you have to be ready at all times. You know, so those are basically key words that we live by.
Then came the time when you said, after the training, here I was, complete soldier. How did you feel when you realized that, yeah, I am complete. I'm the complete soldier now. Training and everything, I'm done.
You know,
did it give you a sense of achieving what you went in the Army for?
I'll be quite honest with you. At that time, I was lost. In the beginning of everything, I always ask myself, is this the right decision to make? You know, because here you are in a foreign country, you know, let alone in a foreign military. You're right. Discipline is the key thing in the Army, and discipline is something that is big. You know, in every soldier's mind, everything you do is in the light of discipline. So to transform from a civilian to a soldier, that was the hardest part. You know, a civilian, you can get out of here and say, I don't like this job, I'm quitting. You quit. You can't just quit in the Army. You know, you sign the dotted lines, you pledge to whatever you got to do, 4 years, 3 years, or whatever you sign up for, you're going to do those unless you get kicked out. And I have never been kicked out of anything that I wanted to do, and I wasn't about to start at that time.
Tell me about your first battle, your first posting to the front line. Here is Captain Ibrahim Kamara, posted, destination, I don't know. What was that destination?
Well, my first destination exposure to combat was in Afghanistan back in 2002.
Wow, what a place to be. I would like to be there.
Yeah, I was at that time part of the 82nd Airborne Division. And then we went to, we were in Bagram Airfield, probably about 45 minutes south of the capital city, Kabul. It was, I remember, I was a staff sergeant then. I remember my supervisor telling us to blend in. We went to Kabul, downtown Kabul, to buy some things or whatever the case is, so we had to pull guard and all this other stuff. and they told us to blend in. And I'm sitting there looking at them like, are you serious? Blend in. I'm a black man in downtown Kabul, and you're asking me to blend in. But it was interesting. It was interesting to see some of the things that happen in combat.
You were in camouflage or in mufti?
Well, at that
when
time...
they tell you to blend in, meaning that you have to mix with the people?
Yes.
Meaning did you dress in a civilian outfit or in your camouflage?
No, we wear civilian clothes. Back then, we don't wear the uniform out there. This was the beginning of the war.
Okay.
So when we go outside the camp, we were on a separate mission.
And that's how you
civilians.
blend in.
Yes.
I'm looking at my friend from Gambia,
yeah.
a dark-colored guy, and he's been told to blend in with Afghans.
And not only that, but with an M16 rifle, it's hard to camouflage. Okay. It's about this long.
Wow. And you have to get that hidden within yourself.
Well, yeah. Sometimes we wear jackets, and you will have it slang down your feet, your legs, sorry, and you have it down there, and then kind of hold on to the muscle. But it's still you can tell. Yeah.
Kabul or Afghanistan, roadside bombs, attacks from insurgents here and there, Al Qaeda over there. Did you at any time feel jittery about being in such a place? I mean, it's normal, man. You've got your family down here. Come on. You don't want to die in foreign land serving in a foreign army.
Yeah.
This is Uncle Sam's army.
Yeah.
You don't want to die in Uncle Sam's army. I mean, you got your parents and your friends and loved ones all from motherland Gambia. And you just, yeah. Did you feel, yeah, God damn it, man, this is going to be a hell of a place to be?
Well, you know, Mike, at that time in Afghanistan, at that time, there was no roadside bombing. In 2002, in the beginning of the war, they were not exposed to that kind of technology or that kind of technical know-how. So at that time, it was kind of like more of a landmines that we worry about than roadside bombing. Now, roadside bombing, after the Iraq war, that's when they developed that in that region, but it wasn't there. Now, in Iraq, the 2 tours that I did there, yes, there was a lot of roadside bombing at those times, but it never fazed me because one thing about combat that I learned, not only combat, in anything that I do that involves risk, I already made up my mind that, you know what, if I'm taking this, it could be simple as getting an airplane. When I step my foot on the airplane, I don't have a choice. So I can't worry about it. You know, I just let it go. I let it in the hands of God.
You mentioned Iraq. How was it like being in Iraq?
Well, I did 2 tours in Iraq. My first tour was in 2004.
George Bush's time.
Yes, we spent 15 months out there.
And you were told about weapons of mass destruction, which you never found in Iraq.
Well, those are the policymakers.
Well, that's it. We'll come to that.